Hello, everyone. I am Heidi with Onigo Stampin', and I am so excited to be here with you tonight. Welcome to my Stamp Corner, doing something just a little bit different. Now, I have been totally missing in action for the entire month of December. It's been a while since I posted a video. I've just been very busy, right? The holidays, all that kind of stuff. I'm sure you're hearing it from everyone. But anyway, so it is my goal to get back on top of things and get back here stamping with you more regularly. So I have decided I'm going to start going live. Now, it's not normally going to be on Monday evenings. Starting next week, I will be going live on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. So this week we have a special new catalog kickoff because the new catalog is coming tomorrow. So we're not doing it this week, but next week, Thursday, I'm going to start going live at 8 p.m. Right here on my YouTube channel to share some fabulous cards with you. So all that being said, I want to go ahead and get started. Don't worry. When this video is over, I'm going to put in the description to the video, I'm going to put the link to my website. And over on my website, you're going to find still photos. There's no link to the supply list right now because I'm using all new stuff, but I'm going to work on getting that up there for you tomorrow. So I hope you'll click over and see that. And I'm going to go ahead, flip my cameras around, not around, but I'm going to switch them here. And we're going to get started making a fun card. So I'm going to be using the brand new Artfully Layered stamp set, and it also has coordinating dies with it. This is part of the Artfully Composed suite that is in the new 2022 January to June mini catalog. So this is a stamp set. In that suite, there is also this gorgeous patterned vellum. So it is vellum. I don't know if you can see this, but it's vellum, so it's kind of see-through. And it has all these different patterns on it of maps and words and all sorts of stuff. So that's in the suite. And then also in the suite is this gorgeous pattern paper. Now, I've already used lots of the Artfully Composed pattern paper, but I just want to, so some of it, like that's all I have of that one. But it has all these gorgeous leaves on it, as well as some patterns. See, everything is different directions, but look, isn't that gorgeous? That was so much fun. Oh, I am loving this. And of course, on the back, you got some great patterns too. So I'm going to use this in today's card as well. Just wanted to show it to you real quick before I got started. And I'm in total mess. Like I had not planned to go live today until about a half hour ago. So everything is kind of in chaos. And if you could see my whole desk and more than just what is in the screen, you would see everything is just a little bit not very tidy. Should we say not very tidy? All right. I have pre-cut a number of the pieces for this card, though. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling those out. I am starting with a piece of Just Jade. Now, this piece is 11 inches by 4¼ inches, and I have scored it right here at 5½. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold it. And this is going to fold it in half to make our card base. Use my bone folder and give that a nice crease. And that is going to be our card base right there. Now, on top of this, I have a piece of pale papaya. The pale papaya is 3 7/8 and 5 1/8, and I'm going to be adding these dimensions to my website. So you can go over and check out my blog post with this card, and it will be there. And then I have a piece of Calypso Coral that is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Looking at my notes over here. I'm going to start with this piece of Calypso Coral, and I am pulling out this big fern stamp, which I just love it. It's so pretty. And I want to use my Calypso Coral ink. So I'm using the same color ink as my stamp or as the paper. I'm just going to ink this up. Just tap, tap, tap lightly in my ink pad a whole bunch of times because it is a big stamp and it's a bold stamp. So it's got to get some ink on there. And then I'm just going to start stamping it on my paper. And I'm going to stamp it each time. I'm going to stamp it twice. So I get just some different. Now you have to be really careful because you don't want to get the part that wasn't on the paper stamped back on your paper because it'll be 2 different colors, but I can still use it. There we go. I think I'll come in here like this and come down there. Do that. I want to stamp off because I just want to get a light just up here very lightly. There we go. Now I'm going to set that stamp aside, and I'm going to pull out this really fun stamp. It's just kind of words. I'm going to try to hold that up for you so you can see it, but it's words, but I don't even know what it says. It's not very clear. It's missing a lot of pieces. So it's just really great for adding in a little bit extra texture. And again, I'm going to stamp this a couple times just to kind of add in a little bit of background. Just like that. So you can just see that just added just a little bit of background texture in there. Now I'm going to put away my Calypso Coral ink pad because I think I'm all done with it. And this is the background. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to grab my green glue and I'm going to adhere this to my piece of pale papaya. It's just going to go right on here. And this is just a 1/8 mat on here. So the pale papaya is 1/8 inch larger on both width and height. Now on top of here, I have cut 2 pieces of that beautiful Artfully Composed Designer Series paper. And I'm going to adhere this to the front. I'm going to start with this fun pattern one right up here. And again, just putting this on with my multi-purpose glue. Let's see, it's going to go up here just like that. And then I'm going to take a second piece, and this one is kind of a pale papaya color, and I'm going to add this towards the bottom. And they're going to overlap just a little bit. Definitely layering it up. So this is Artfully Layered stamp set, and I am definitely layering it up because I love to layer. I am a layer girl. Do you guys love to layer? All right. So that is on there. Now, I want to put a piece I've cut, and these are cut with a stitched rectangle dies. I have a circle of that printed vellum, and I cut it with the layering circle dies. Now I'm going to put this right on here, and I know that I'm going to put something right across here, so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue because vellum is see-through, and where you put that glue, it's going to show. So I want to make sure that I'm putting that someplace where I know it is going to be underneath, right? So just like that, put that right on there. Now, let's get out some more pieces I have. I have a piece of Just Jade that I have cut. That is that fern. Isn't that pretty? And I have a piece of Evening Evergreen that I've cut. That is that big leaf there. And then I have another piece, and this is what I cut that fern out of. I have another piece of Just Jade right here. Now, I want to grab my Just Jade ink pad. We're going to make some more texture on here. This card really is all about texture and layers. So slide this aside. I have, and I want to clean this up. So I'm going to grab my Stampin' Chamois, which is a mess. It is really dirty. Well, it's stained. I shouldn't say it's really dirty. It's really stained. I'm just going to wipe my stamp on there. Get all that Calypso Coral ink off. And I'm just going to stamp this up, ink it up with my Just Jade. And then I'm going to cover this whole piece with my Just Jade. Because I'm going to cut another leaf out of here, and I just want it to have some texture on it. So I'm going to set that aside. And now this leaf right here that I already cut, I'm going to go ahead and stamp that as well. And this is just adding just a little bit of texture on it, just a little bit of something extra. So there we go. The other thing that I want to stamp, I'm going to grab some basic white cardstock. I just have strips of basic white on my stamp table, and I have the thank you stamp. I'm going to go ahead and ink that up with the Just Jade as well. Ink, 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 and just stamp that right on that piece of basic white. And I think that is all the stamping I'm going to be doing on this one. So let me set that stuff aside. I do want to cut this leaf out. So let me show you these really cool dies. These are the Tropical Layer dies, and they match that stamp set. Aren't they so pretty? So I'm going to grab this one right here. You'll notice this is the leaf that I've already cut here. Now I'm going to cut one out of the Just Jade. So I'm going to put it on my cutting plate here. Go ahead and put my other plate on top. I'm just going to run this through my die cut machine. Just like that. Woohoo. All right. So now I have this piece that I have die cut, and I'm actually going to take this one. I use the outside of it, but this one, I want to grab these inside pieces because we're going to slide these back in to here just to give us like a two-tone leaf. Isn't that fun? I love the way these go together. And they're nice and big, so it's not like fiddling with a bunch of little tiny pieces. All right, let's pull back in our card front. I'm going to use this. Now, normally I would use my silicone mat. I think it is buried. If you guys could see my desk right now, it is so crazy. So I think it's buried. I'm just going to try to be careful with my multi-purpose glue and just put some little dots in kind of the big pieces, the big areas of this. Just like that. Let's see if we can get just a little more in here. And then this is going to go on our card front. This is going to come right in here. I just want to hold that down for just a minute. I'm going to try to hold this with my hand and put glue on this over here. So this one, those pieces, they're not stuck in there permanently right now. They're just kind of, tucked in there, but they will stay well enough so that I can just stick them there while I put some glue on. That way I don't have to be quite as careful. Get glue on all the different areas here. And then this is going to come in. We're going to add this. Look at all these layers on this card. I tell you. It is a layered card. All right, you're going to see that in just a minute, but I'm going to put my hand on it, just kind of hold it. Now, I do want to show you a couple things I have. So I also took these dies. Well, I'm holding this with my hand. All right, there's this long die that has like a stitch and a what do we call it? A zigzag end. And I cut that, a piece of coral, about a half-inch wide strip of Calypso coral cardstock. Yeah, I can't even talk tonight. All right, is that held? Because I'm tired of holding it. So I just cut that down. I want to cut this about 2.5. Pull out my tape paper trimmer and just cut this down to 2.5. We are almost done with this card. Almost done putting on the layers on. Put my paper trimmer away. And then I have another little 1/2-inch strip by 2.5 inches of that designer series paper. This is the same designer series paper that's right here. And we're going to kind of just make a strip here. I'm going to add some adhesive to it. And I want to offset these just a little bit. So they're the same size, so we're just going to make them kind of offset each other. And this, I'm going to adhere to the card front as well. And this is where we're going to put our sentiment. So this is going to come right in here. Just layering it and layering it and layering it. More and more layers. All right. I stamped that thank you. And I just want to fussy cut this. Do you like to fussy cut? I'm not a huge fan of fussy cutting, but I do like to fussy cut sentiments sometimes. I just, they're just kind of cute. You don't have to get real close, so it's pretty easy. And just go right around those. And it's kind of like bubble lettering. Remember when you were in junior high and you did, you wrote your boyfriend's name and then you bubble lettered around it. It's kind of the same thing, except you're using scissors instead of your markers or your pens. So I'm just going to cut that out. And like I said, I'm not doing a super, close or neat job. Just kind of going quick. And I got to get out some more adhesives because we're going to use some different adhesives on this. And I didn't get them out beforehand, but that's okay. Because that's one thing I like about my stamp corner. It is not very big. My craft corner is really very small. It literally is a corner of a room. But everything is in arm's reach, so I can grab stuff super quick. So there's our little thank you. Now I have some white baker's twine. Now this is from an old pack, so it's not quite on a spool like that anymore, but we do still have white baker's twine. I'm just going to take my white baker's twine and tie a bow in it. Just kind of pull it out to what I want, right? Like get it to be a nice size. I kind of want it a little bit loopy, but not too big. That should be good. Now, baker's twine, it does kind of, I don't know, it likes to flop. It likes to be flopsy. Cut that with my scissors. And I'm going to grab my mini glue dots. If I can. Let me see where, oh, they're already on my table. See, I'm telling you, such a mess over here. I'm just going to grab my mini glue dots. And I have a little dot right there. Just pick that up, put my bow on it and pick it up. And then this bow is going to go right on my card as well. So that's just going to come right in here. That looks good. I'm going to grab my ribbon scissors. Just trim off the ends. Oops. Even my ribbon scissors aren't very good. Need to get a new pair of snips for ribbons. All right, now I'm going to add this thank you with some mini Stampin' Dimensionals. So here's my mini dimensionals. I'm just going to put a couple on here. I want to make sure this is going to come. So this is going to come right in here. I don't like the way, sometimes, you know, that baker's twine just wants to twist, and I don't really want it twisted. All right. So this thank you is going to come right in here and just go over the top just like that. Isn't that cute? Now to finish this all off with just a little bit of something, if I can find my bling. All right. I have these brand new iridescent rhinestone basic jewels. Aren't they pretty? Whew. They're sparkly and they kind of match, you know, whatever you put them with. They kind of pick up those colors. So I'm going to grab a medium-sized one. I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to put a small one up here. And then I always like to use odd numbers. So I'm going to put one more odd numbers and kind of in a triangle. I'm going to put it down here. Which means I want to move this one. I do this. I pull them on. I put them on and then I pull them off and I move them just a little bit. I'm never happy with where things are. All right. We just need to put this on our card base. I almost forgot to do the inside of this as well. Actually, I'm just going to show you the inside of my sample card. I'm going to show you how I do one little thing on it, and I'm going to just show you the inside because I don't have all the pieces ready. I wasn't thinking. I always forget the insides. Do you do that? Do you forget the insides of your cards? All right. So I have a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 inch basic white cardstock. Now I'm going to grab this big old fern again, and I'm going to clean it off with my Stampin' Chamois. And I'm going to do just a little bit of kissing on this. So I'm going to ink it up with the Just Jade. Get that nice and inky. And I'm going to stamp it off on my paper. Then I'm going to take those words again, and I'm going to ink those up with the Just Jade and just stamp those right on my flower or on the fern. All right. And then I'm just going to do a little huffing just to kind of re-wet your stamp. And then this goes right down here. So you can just get that little bit of writing on there from where you stamped it. Let me show you my card sample. We'll set this aside. I'm going to show you my sample card and show you the inside Oh, and I think I did it in a different color. I did it with the Calypso coral on the inside, but you can see that same fern, and I just added another die cut fern and just a little strip of Calypso coral cardstock on the bottom, just to create that fun thank you card. So, all right, I'm going to switch my cameras around. Thank you so much for joining me today. As I said, I'm going to put a description to this video that is going to have a link to the blog post that goes with this card, where you're going to find dimensions, and tomorrow the supply list will be there. As well as that, if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator, and I would love to hang out with you more. Come over and find me in my Facebook group. The link to my Facebook group will be in the description as well. And I would love to have you come over there, hang out with us, have some fun. Tomorrow night is our weekly mystery stamping at 8 p.m. on Tuesday nights. We do mystery stamping. I've already posted the supplies over there. You can jump over, grab your supply list, cut your items, and then join me tomorrow night at 8 p.m. And we're going to make a quick and easy card using those supplies. So really fun little activity I do every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Thank you again so much for joining me. I hope to see you next week, next Thursday night at 8 p.m. when I will be live here again on YouTube. Have a fabulous evening, and thank you so much for joining me.